Good morning everyone. Today we're going to have a second lesson for IELTS writing. For this episode, I'm going to start to give you some training about writing an introduction for IELTS. So in a very short time, how can you manage to write a successful introduction for your IELTS, given the fact that you don't have more than 7 minutes to draft and to actually write your introduction? So the recommendation is you follow a very simple structure for your introduction. Your introduction should have maximum 3 sentences. So what are these 3 sentences? The first sentence is the general statement. So what is a general statement? A general statement is a sentence that gives a very brief introductions or some background information about the topics. I recommend you to write only a simple sentence structure. Don't give a very strong confirmation. Basically, you should write a sentence that everybody should agree with about the topics. You should pick up 3 keywords from the introduction, from the essay question, and use the synonym of these 3 words to put in the general statement. So I repeat again, to write a general statement, first of all, you need to have a very simple sentence structure. Don't use a complex sentence structure. Number 2, they should give very general information and general background about the topics. Number 3, you should pick out 3 keywords, meaning 3 keys information in the essay question, and then paraphrase them or use a synonym of them to put in your general statement. For example, in this example, as you can see, the essay is trying to argue that people who go abroad for studying usually have a better benefit, and it's usually a plus to go overseas to study. So in the general statement is like this. Going to study in a foreign country with its different language and culture can be frustrating and sometimes painful experience. So this sentence is very simple sentence to describe about the feelings as well as the advantage or the experience of going to study in foreign language. And as you can see, it's a very simple structure, and most people can agree with that. And most people find it's acceptable when they read this sentence. So don't try to start your essay with a sentence that is very challenging or a strong claim, because it will be hard for you later on to develop. And then the second sentence you should say is one sentence. You can use the complex sentence structure to elaborate or to narrow down the scope of the general statement. What does that mean by to elaborate or narrow down? For example, in the general statement, you just give a very general opinion. You just say going to study is maybe sometimes it can be painful, it can be frustrating, but it's a general. It doesn't apply to any specific circumstance. So in the second sentence, you should narrow it down by referring it to a certain country, a certain area of the world, to a certain group of people. Or you can say something more about going to study in a foreign country. So in the way, for example, I write an example here, as you can see, an example from this paragraph, a sentence to elaborate or narrow down. So what is the example? But while overseas study has its drawback, the difficulties are outweighed by the advantage. So you elaborate, you explain a little bit more about overseas study, because you are trying to go down that line, you want to expand something. So usually when you elaborate on the topic, you can refer to the application of that sentence in some country, how some group of people apply it, how different countries apply, this, or think about this experience, or you can explain this a little bit more. In my experience, you can use this sentence as an option. It means if you really don't find you have enough time and you're not sure what to write, you can actually omit the second sentence, and it's optional in that sense. The third sentence is a thesis statement. A thesis statement is compulsory, and it's a very important part of your IELTS writing essay. So For example, in your essay, you try to focus on the fact that people who go overseas usually have more benefit, and that is the key point you try to say. So in your thesis statement, usually you have to make very clear 3 kind of things. The first information you should put in your thesis statement is your essay type. It means you try to make explicit whether you are doing an argument essay, a discussion essay, or an explanation essay. The second point is you should make clear what is your point of view. So you agree or you disagree with the question. And the third point is you need to explain the reason. Briefly, you explain the reason why you agree or you disagree. I say one more time, the thesis statement are usually focusing on 3 main points. Your essay type, it means it's a discussion essay or it's an argument essay, where there is and then the second point you have to focus is your point of view. You agree or you disagree. And the third one, you try to provide some reasons why you agree or disagree. So this is an example for the thesis statement. Indeed, people who go abroad for study open themselves up to experiences that those who stay at home would never have. So in this sentence, you confirm your opinion is that you believe that people who go overseas will have more chances, will have more benefit. It means that you agree with that. You agree that people should go overseas to study, and the 2 reasons are they will open up themselves to experience more than people who never stay at home. So this thesis statement is actually written in a very clear way, but it's not strongly claimed, it's a little bit implicit. So in the next episode and the next example, I will try to show you another way to write introduction that is more explicit. So as I say, you don't have a lot of time for IELTS writing. The shorter you can keep, the better. So use a very short, simple structure, very clear structure as well, but make sure they link to each other. And in this introduction, the 3 sentences are linked very well because they repeat the main idea about going to study overseas. You repeat the idea, but you don't repeat the exact words. So always remember the tip, repeat the idea, but don't repeat the exact word. Thank you very much for your listening, and I hope to see you again in the next episode. Thank you and bye-bye.